Welcome back to another episode of TalkBall Tweakers. Toussaint Fancher here. We have my co-host Jake Mazarski in the Oregon Green.
Go Ducks.
And we got Blake McQuarrie back here in the Super Bowl gear. How you guys feeling today? How we feeling?
We feeling
great.
Yeah. Nah, I feel great, dude. We had we were supposed to start this pod an hour and a half ago.
We've been
lollygagging
around.
Great time.
So.
Great time.
Great day though.
It started with
God woke me up.
I want to hear Blake's
day.
perspective of when he entered 303. What happened?
I entered 303 today. That's the office space that we are in, 16th floors up somewhere in Chicago. And I get inside after closing the door. Right after I close the door, I just hear the door behind me get bombarded and just absolutely banged on. And I'm like, who the hell is banging on the door? And then I thought about it, came to my senses, and I said, you know what? That's Jake behind me banging on that door.
It was Jake.
And I turn around, and I'm walking back to open the door, and he's like, Blake! Like I didn't just hear the door get pounded on like it was 12. Like the police didn't just come up in 303 pounding on the door looking for me.
I had to get into the building.
Yeah, so that's how it started here. And now we are an hour and 30, about an hour in from being at 303 and
Yeah.
just now starting pods. But
All right.
Yeah, but it's done.
Let's talk ball. I was trying to get him on the same page.
My bad. I got
never on the same page.
I got locked into MLB TV for a second because
Never
the
on
Mets
the
are playing
same
the Dodgers,
page.
and I'm trying to get that game on. We're on the same page. Let's do it.
Nah, you're good.
All right.
Well, you want to just start with the news of Tibbs getting fired, or
Let's start with the NBA.
you want to start with the NBA Finals? All right,
Yeah,
we'll talk
start
about
with
the
NBA
NBA
Finals.
Finals.
Sure.
I'll set the scene. Pacers Thunder Game 1 tonight. We're recording on Thursday. This will probably get out on Friday. OKC is a minus 600 favorite. Their road to the finals, they beat the Grizzlies in 4, Nuggets in 7, Timberwolves in 5. On the other side, Indiana Pacers came into the postseason as the 5 seed in the East, beat the Bucks in 5, the Cavs in 5, and the Knicks in 6. Immediate thoughts about this series starting tonight?
Well, I mean, I think you just give the chip to OKC. Not shorting the Pacers, but that's how good the Oklahoma City Thunder are. A huge props to the Indiana Pacers, though, for making it to the finals. Nobody had, unless you lived in Indiana, absolutely nobody predicted them to be here. I mean, and I'm not going to say that they don't have a shot. The way that they've been playing, they absolutely have a shot. And they're nice. They're deep. They're nice. They all play very well. But OKC's just too good. And you guys are obviously going to be watching this after Game 1 had happened. So, I mean, I think by now, when you guys are watching this, Oklahoma City's up 1-0 after Game 1. But I think Pacers get 1 or 2 for sure. It's not going to be a sweep.
No, I think they get 2.
I think they get 1 or 2.
I think they get 2.
I think the Pacers absolutely deserve to make the finals. I'm not going to be the person that said I thought the Pacers were going to make it. I said the Knicks were going to win in 5. I thought the Pacers honestly were going to lose to the Bucks, but this was a team that made the conference finals last year, lost in 4. They are really good. My friend said it to me over Memorial Day weekend. They could shoot 70% from the park, just go to sleep, and do the same thing the next day.
Yeah.
Tyrese Halliburton, we had this conversation. I think he's a top 15 player in the league. That was just a wax poetic ending, how he made that shot from like 35 feet to put away the Knicks. I just think the Pacers, everything they have, the Thunder have something better, right? Halliburton, Shea, Siakam. I guess Siakam and Jalen Williams are at the same position, but Jalen Williams is a better number 2 than Siakam. Yeah. The Thunder, or the Pacers run 9 deep, so do the Thunder. Number 2 offense in the league, number 1 offense in the league, number 2 pace in the league, number 1 pace in the league. So, like, the Thunder are a better basketball team, and they were expected to be here. And we'll get into predictions. The Pacers need to win a game on the road, obviously, to win this series. And they probably need to win more than 1 game on the road, assuming that the Thunder win a game in Indiana, because the Thunder should. The Thunder lost 6 games at home all year. And so we'll see. I can't rule the Pacers out because they are like a cardiac team. But you got to go Thunder very early on just to start us off.
Yeah, it's probably obviously going to be the Thunder. It says that the Pacers are 5-1 underdogs. It is the longest odds since the 04 Pistons beat the Lakers. So that's,
the Jets have a better odds to make the playoffs next season than the Pacers do to win the championship right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
OKC is a 9.5-point favorite, which is the third largest in the opening game for finals. In the last 35 years, it's interesting to look at it because the way I look at OKC is like, people have been saying a lot on Twitter and shows, are they a historically great team? And the answer is like, yes, because of the numbers and whatnot.
Yeah.
They're going to outrun, they're going to suffocate the Pacers. Like the Pacers get up and run, but the thing is, so does OKC. And OKC, their bench is limitless. Like they just don't
That's insane.
They could play the 13th guy on the bench and they would give him quality minutes. So it's like you look at it one way, it's everyone, like you said, no one thought the Pacers were going to be here, and I give them their props. Halliburton has done something that none of us thought he was ever going to do, especially this early in his career.
Yeah.
But
that's a fact.
Is it fair to say if Indiana wins the series, Halliburton has to outplay Shea, and Siakam has to outplay Jalen Williams?
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah, 100%. That
right.
There's not a world that I don't see a world where if the Pacers win, they didn't outplay Shea. No, absolutely not.
For me, at least, the number in terms of if you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, the four best players for each team, the only thing, in my opinion, that the Pacers has, I think Siakam is better than Jalen Williams. But everything else,
fair.
Everything
absolutely,
else,
yeah.
Everything
Absolutely.
else,
I could push back, but that's fair.
Everything else, OKC has a matchup for, and you can defend. I mean, like any sort of defense you want, OKC can instill it. So, and they have the MVP, so it's like, what more do you want from
you
the
guys
team?
might shit. Oh, sorry. I was going to say you guys might shit on this comparison a little. I sort of look at it as Alabama playing Gonzaga in college because these teams could defend the crap out of the ball. The only reason I'm using Bama and Gonzaga is they were the top 2 scoring teams in college basketball. I mean, on both sides, Lou Dort's the best on-ball defender in the NBA.
Absolutely.
According to Jay Williams, he's going to be in his ass.
He said no. He said no. That shit was funny. He said, Lou Dort's gonna be in his ass. He said that with passion.
Yeah, you gotta stop.
Said, pause, dog.
That was insane.
Pause. Hold the brakes.
And you look at bro, they all defend. And you look at the other side too. Halliburton's a great defender. Siakam's really hard to go against. You still have Miles Turner in the paint.
Yeah.
Like, these teams are going to defend. It's not going to be like last year's finals where you see Luka or Tatum or Jaylen Brown just sort of standing there.
As a cone, yeah. It's not going to be one where it's like you got to attack. You're attacking that one person on defense because they both have
Like, there are going to be multiple possessions in tonight's game and throughout the entire series where they're going to be great defensive possession for both teams.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter because the other team's going to make the shot.
Absolutely.
Because that's just what they are.
Absolutely. And I love that you said that because it's very true. I don't like the Shea Tyrese matchup though. And I want to see how much they're going to put Tyrese on Shea. I feel like they're going to put Nembhard on Shea.
I think they're going to put Nembhard on Shea too.
But I don't love that matchup defensively for Halliburton.
Neither do I.
Because I think if they're and I don't think Carlisle will do it. I think it's going to be Nembhard most of the time on Shea. But if that does happen, if they fuck up and do that, it's not going to end well because I absolutely think that if Halliburton is going to guard Shea 90% of the time, Shea is going to have his way.
Oh,
absolutely.
Well, they're not. They're gonna put their best defender on Shea for sure.
And Shea's gonna have his way no matter who they put on him. You can put Lou Dort on Shea and he'll still get his bag. I'm more interested to see Halliburton with Lou Dort in his ass. I'm gonna use that so many times on this podcast. I'm sorry,
dog.
I mean,
I know we need an AO button right here.
The Pacers probably have a better defense than the Knicks, Bucks, and Cavaliers combined, and so for the Pacers, Halliburton's obviously got to play well. You need Aaron Nesmith or Andrew Nembhard or even both of them to score over 20. Siakam might be the best individual shot maker on that team. I think he's a better individual shot maker than Halliburton. I think Halliburton's a better player.
To me, he's the difference maker.
He's the difference maker. And you have the Thunder who could deploy 10 elite defenders. That's the biggest difference.
I also feel like Siakam can get his own shot. I think Siakam's going to be fine in this series.
No, Siakam gets his own. Siakam gets his own.
The thing is, throughout their offense, he finds his own rhythm. Like, he doesn't upset the offense. He doesn't, he's not heliocentric. He doesn't have to dribble it.
He's the conference finals MVP.
Yeah, he's the only starter with a ring.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That's what he brings to the. That's why I say he's better than Jalen Williams, because he's older and he has the experience. But I also don't think that he's gonna have any problems with people guarding him. Just out of respect that he's a bigger, longer kind of guy, and as good as OKC is defensively, I don't think there's one guy that can slow him down. The team has to slow him down, but I don't think there's one guy that can like individually shut him down altogether. I think he still get his 20, 25, but like I don't think they have a one guy that can be like, oh, we'll put him on there and Siakam will be shut. He'll be clamped.
I also think that OKC, they're okay if Siakam gets whatever he wants inside the arc, because the way the Pacers beat teams, and we've seen this, is just them shooting the three so well.
Oh yeah, Miles Turner too.
Right.
I think if it's not Siakam, Miles Turner's a difference maker.
That's a really good matchup. Miles Turner and Chet, if they go at it, that's gonna be a really
that's big for Chet, because it's always been about Chet with his muscle, and now you're facing a guy who is huge.
Yeah. So I think that's gonna be that's a good one too. I want to give Rick Carlisle his props though. Like, oh my gosh,
which one's the applause?
Oh, we got it right this time.
I don't know how you
got it right this time. I'm not gonna lie. I thought we were going to Narnia again or something. I thought
you guys saw that.
No, like Rick Carlisle deserves his flowers though. Absolutely. It's inevitable. Like I feel like at this point now we're seeing them reach the finals, and now we look at this team. Obviously, it's way too early to say this. We don't know what's going to happen this offseason, but they run this back. It's almost like inevitable now that the Pacers are an elite postseason team, an elite team in the East, let alone in the postseason as well. Made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Nobody thought they were going to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Nobody thought they were going to the finals this year. And then you look at what he did in Dallas and led them to the 2011 championship. That 2011 championship, that ring, I think, honestly, if it's not like 95 Rockets, or if it's not even the Pistons run in 04 or something, like that 2011 ring is the hardest ring.
Oh,
that Dirk ring, Kobe, KD, he had to go through Kobe, KD, and
the
Brown.
Spurs.
He had to go through
Didn't he have to go
gauntlet.
through the Spurs too?
Yeah,
I think
Spurs,
he did.
Mavs, and LeBron to go get a ring.
One of the hardest rings.
Honestly, I think that's the most insane run for sure.
And he was an assistant coach when they went there in 2000. So
yeah. So Carlisle deserves his flowers. An absolute great coach. I think he goes unappreciated.
Totally.
As far as coaches go in the NBA, and so
Before we get into predictions, is it fair to say that entering the 25-26 season with all the uncertainty in the East, the Pacers are the favorite? Celtics aren't going to have Jason Tatum
for the East.
I think they'll be considered. They should be considered.
I guess we got to see what happens.
You got to see, but like right now, like obviously there's so much that could change.
Right now, yeah.
Like unless where's Giannis? It depends on if Giannis leaves.
Yeah.
But right now, Pacers just beat the Knicks and Cavs, who are probably the two best rosters in the East because Jason Tatum's hurt. Who else? I mean, you can't put the Pistons by the Pacers yet.
No,
I think Indiana has to be considered the favorite right now.
No, they are absolutely. I think like once again, you do have to see what happens this offseason, but right now, absolutely yes.
Right.
Especially with all the talks that are happening. I mean, Giannis could end up in New York or wherever the hell they're talking about where Giannis is going to go. They're even talking about Jaylen Brown could be out of Boston.
Yeah.
That could be something that happens that we see this offseason. I mean, I think Cleveland's going to run it back as far as their whole talent.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see Ty Jerome, where he goes. I think he
Westchester
did. I think he did kind of piss away a $100 and whatever $1 million contract in that series. But it's going to be. Yeah, I'd say right now, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it has to be them. And even with the uncertainties, like they're gonna be there. And so let's see how they do in the finals. I mean, they're still playing, and we're talking about the offseason, but like they could win a ring still.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And one more thing I want to add is, I know we had to talk last episode of Tyrese Halliburton and the egregious top 10 talks, and is he a superstar? That Pascal Siakam Eastern Conference Final trophy is really, really proven that Tyrese ain't there yet.
Did you see him when they were about to announce it? He started walking up.
Yeah, he started walking up. He thought that was his trophy.
I felt like he should have won it.
Started walking up.
You think he should have won it?
I don't think he should.
No, absolutely not.
He had
absolutely not.
He had some bad games. He exploded in Game 6.
He had some bad games. He put up 8 points.
He did have
in
bad
that
games.
What was that, Game 5?
I just feel like he had
Come on now,
I just
dog.
feel like his moments were bigger. I know Pascal had more games where he scored more points, but I just feel like his impact was bigger.
His moments, especially in that series, when Pacers-Knicks carries so much weight because it's an old-time rivalry. They played last year, and Tyrese Halliburton's moments were always going to be louder than Pascal Siakam.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just the way they are.
Absolutely, but I think Pascal deserved it.
I mean, I'm not mad at Pascal.
I would have been fine with either, honestly.
I thought they were going to give it to Tyrese. That's what I thought, like, that was my prediction. Of course, I thought the media was going to give it to Tyrese.
Yeah.
But you look at Pascal's numbers, he deserved it.
No, I know he went crazy. I just thought that.
He had the quietest.
He had 3 30-point games.
He had the quietest 31 points in Game 6.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody knew.
He had 39 in Game 2.
Dude.
Like,
Yeah.
Pascal was hooping.
He was hooping.
So, yeah, shout out Pascal.
Yeah.
Tyrese ain't there yet. That's all I got to say.
Prediction time?
Yeah.
Who wants to start us off?
I'll go. I'll say I'm gonna do OKC in 5. I can see Indiana getting 2. I won't be surprised if they get 2. But right now, as far as my prediction goes, I'm only gonna give them 1. I think this Oklahoma City Thunder team is absolutely too skilled. They're way too smart defensively. They're too aggressive defensively, and they're a very relentless team on both ends of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just think they have too much. They've been the best team in basketball all year. Consistent. They've been the best. I'll say consistent because the Cavs were there. There were moments where you'd seen it was the Cavs, but no, Oklahoma City has been the best consistent basketball team all year long. And I just think it's I think it's like one of those, like, it's destined to happen, like, for them this year. So I'm gonna give it OKC 5.
Yeah. I'll go after you.
What the hally? I'm gonna go Pacers.
Oh, that's
losing
crazy.
6.
Nah.
to OKC.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
I see what you did. I like how you did that. I like how you did that. I like how you did that.
Nah, it's gonna be OKC. I think Indiana gets at least 2. I think they get 2. I think they're good enough that they can win 2. And I think they're gonna be 2 games where, like, OKC is up in the series by 2 games, and they're like, well, we can relax, relax, but mentally kind of, we can take a game off, and they win at least 2, and then the second one is when they're, it's a 3-1 series, and it's like we need 1, and they're at home. I think it's gonna be 4-2, but yeah, I'm gonna go OKC.
I think OKC wins in 4. I think the Pacers totally can win a game or can win 2 games because that's just what they are. I think their championship was the Knicks. I think they just wanted to prove that. And I think the Thunder are so locked in. The Denver series, they did not play well in some of those games that they lost.
Yeah.
And in every game they won by double digits.
Yeah.
They've only had 1 close win this entire postseason, pretty much. 2, I guess. Game 3 against the Grizzlies when they came back from like 30, and then Game 4 against the Timberwolves. I think they take care of business. I talked to a bunch of Thunder reporters for my package in Carla's class. Check it out on the YouTube. Yeah, I mean, this team's locked in. They love each other. They were the best team in the West last year, and we're disappointed. They're locked in. I think Thunder in 4.
And then one more thing I want to add to my prediction as well, and why I say 5 is because I think there's always like that one game Indiana plays very well, and they're gonna have a game this series where that happens, and it's gonna be in Indiana. Obviously, I don't see them winning in Oklahoma City at all. It's
I
gonna
can see
be
them stealing
Indiana.
1 game in OKC.
They can. I don't see it though. I
feel like
I also feel like if they do, OKC is going to steal 1 right back in Indy.
No, they will absolutely.
But I know OKC is that good. It's like, but to me, when we saw the Knicks, nobody had the Pacers, and I know the Knicks aren't OKC, but everybody had the Knicks in 5 or 6. Everybody.
I mean, you did, but then you also think about it, and you really know basketball. You watch basketball. It was also that lingering known fact of like, okay, the Knicks always get here and then they dwindle, especially with Tibbs there and how Tibbs' system is run.
I think people bought into the narrative so much there, including us. The Knicks made the conference finals for the first time in 25 years and lost to the Pacers the year before.
But it wasn't even that. I think it was just that people didn't respect the Pacers enough to give them.
I'll tell you full-heartedly, I didn't respect the Pacers in that series, and I had the Knicks winning, but I wouldn't. I think I remember saying that I don't think I would have been surprised if the Pacers won this series because of Tibbs' effect on
that's
his
true, but I feel like
rotations.
but I feel like people are choosing OKC not because of we know how good OKC is. I think people still mentally are still trying to wrap their heads around the fact that Indiana is actually this good, and that they've done it 2 years in a row.
Absolutely, you're correct. You are absolutely correct.
Because like you said, they have those really good games.
Yeah. And my thing is though, what I say in my point of like they have those really good games is, I like how they match up defensively. I do. Now, on the other side of the court, when Oklahoma City is on defense and Indiana is on offense, I don't love that matchup.
Where's Lou Dort going to be?
That's what I'm saying. I don't love that matchup. Shea plays defense. Lou Dort plays defense. Jalen Williams plays defense. Chet is absolutely...
But also, the Pacers have really good ball movement. I just feel like the Pacers...
They do.
I just feel like the Pacers are... It's because here's the difference. Like, Denver has good ball movement, but it comes from one person.
Yeah.
You look at who was their first? The Grizzlies. The Grizzlies had no ball movement. The thing about the Pacers, and the reason why I respect them, is not just the fact that they get up the court, but the fact that they throw, like they get up the court. It's not like they are fast break, we're all just gonna dribble. It's Halliburton gets Miles Turner gets the rebound, give it to Halliburton. Halliburton throws it up to Siakam. Siakam throws it up to Nesmith. Nesmith hits the three.
They average nearly 30 assists a game.
Yeah, so that's my thing is like they're going to make – I know OKC is a really good defensive team, but I feel like one or two of these games they're going to really make them work defensively, and they're just not going to have enough game after game after game to do it to a point where they can't – that they just sweep them. Like, I think as good as they are, like Indiana's going to have these games where they're just like – Pascal has 40 and Tyrese has the triple-double with like no turnovers again. So it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think there will be a game for OKC, even though I think they swept them. And it's going to be the case for Indiana. These teams might be shell-shocked a little because they're extremely young and it's the finals.
Yeah.
And so like that carries a lot of weight. But both these teams are so well coached that they'll get it out of their system. But I could totally see a game like Game 3 where OKC just can't hit a shot. And with the the Pacers, you can't come back. The Pacers and the Thunder have made the most threes in the league this year. Like, I said it was going to be like college, but bet the over because these teams just make everything. Mm-hmm. Like, I could see it. I just think that OKC is going to sweep them. And then Finals MVP, Shea. Like, we're all
Shea. Shea for sure.
It's going to be Shea.
I'm going to one up Jay Williams. I think Oklahoma City is going to be in their ass.
Yes,
they're gonna get in their ass.
Good.
One up them.
We're gonna enable this the AO podcast.
And also the vibes of this series is gonna be crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
The environments. I mean, both teams' fan bases.
They wear the shirts.
They wear the shirts.
That's the thing I gotta say about this.
That's gonna be aesthetically pleasing.
I've heard some stupid analysts and commentators over the last couple of days and people on Twitter talk about how, oh man, well, I don't really like when there's small market teams. We want superstars. We want guys who are legends. We want shut up.
Yeah, bro.
I hate when people do that. If you love basketball, you have to love the fact that small market teams are getting loved. You have to love the fact that Indianapolis, which never goes to the finals, is finally back. It makes it more interesting. As much as I love to see Braun in the finals 8 straight times, I like when there's a team here and a team there. The Celtics won and the Nuggets won, and now the OKC is probably going to win.
Bro, we're getting a first-time NBA champion, no matter what.
And next year it might be somebody different. OKC might not win it next year.
I love this.
So
Absolutely.
it's like everybody gets a turn, everybody gets a chance, rather than seeing the same person do it over and over and over again. And we grew up on that.
It's because our goats are getting old.
I'm saying we grew up on a dynasty.
Our goats are getting old.
We grew up on the Spurs. We grew up on the Warriors. We grew up on LeBron. So now I think it's an era of everybody gets a turn at the champ.
I love it.
And also, like, one more thing, like, we predicted on this podcast and have talked about, like, the Thunder might have fell to Bron and Luka or might have fell to Steph if they got there. And I could confidently say right now, no, they wouldn't have. Like, the Thunder would have belted them.
Man, I feel so stupid for saying the Thunder would have lost.
Yeah, I don't think people
Luka, bro. I feel so dumb for saying that.
I feel very
shit.
stupid.
They'd have made Bron and Luka quit. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's a different topic for a different day. It wasn't really Bron and Luka's fault. I mean, that team just wasn't fit for.
Yeah, and the Warriors, even with Steph and Jimmy, they wouldn't have beaten the Thunder.
You see Skinny Luka?
Yeah, Skinny Luka. Yeah. Oh, by the way, great podcast. We got to get to that level. The one with Steve Nash, Luka, and LeBron.
Oh yeah,
that was one of the best things I've ever listened to.
We got to get real critical
Real critical.
All right, so when you have a backside screen and then you go up with the flare side and then you go around. I'm listening to Bron chat about this whole thing.
You got to hedge him. Hedge.
I'm like, oh my goodness.
It's insane. Yeah, but anything else more about the finals or?
No, I think we can move on for sure.
Yeah, congratulations, OKC in advance. I'll tell you guys that much. Knicks fire Tibbs. That's the biggest news, not the finals, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Brendan Lunga. I know I'm not a Knicks fan, but like it's obviously huge. I'm throwing it to you guys. Thoughts immediately?
I was shocked. It was one of those things where like you shouldn't have been shocked, but I was shocked when I seen the thing like pop up on my phone. I was shocked. I genuinely was. I didn't think they were gonna do it. I didn't think, especially when Brunson said in the postseason or post game press conference after the loss about how he kind of questioned that reporter of like, you seriously just asked me that. I thought for sure Tibbs was gonna stay there. I thought they loved him. Apparently they were partying the other night, Monday night. Actually, then the night before he gets fired, they literally all go to the club.
I don't have as much of a problem.
And they had a section sign that said 2026 finals.
Yeah, I saw.
I didn't even see that.
So
they had PJ Tucker.
That was a little interesting to me. But I think, do I think it's the right decision at the end of the day? No. Because I'm a guy who has preached since all of these NBA coaches have been getting fired for really not, at the end of the day, not even, they shouldn't be getting fired. I think that's just how the game is working out with NBA coaches. But it's unfortunate. But I mean, 2 straight 50-win seasons, 2 deep runs in the playoffs.
First time since the 90s.
That you get to these conference finals. I don't think he deserved to get fired.
I was surprised at the timing of it, that it happened like so quickly afterwards. I thought at least if they were going to fire him, they was going to be in the offseason. They're going to have some talks.
I thought it was going to be at least have some talks with them of like, hey, like maybe change your
Finals
system.
hasn't even started and they've already fired him.
That's what I'm saying.
But see, here's the thing to me. Tibbs is no doubt a really good coach in this league. Great coach, no doubt. He's proven that he can win. I don't think he can get you over the hump. Now, that's not to say that.
Yeah, I don't either. I said it last week in Tweaker of the Week.
Yeah, I don't think he gets you over the hump.
You guys have been saying that since the Pistons.
And you got to think about it like this. This is the first time in 25 years, right, that the Knicks are at this point and they're really good. They have their superstar in Brunson. They have it all lined up. They just got Cat. They might be flipping for Giannis. If those are all possibilities, why not go do it right now? To me, his comp is like Sean McDermott for me. I like Sean McDermott. Really good coach. Can get you to the playoffs. He's had like 7 or 8 tries at Mahomes and hasn't won.
You always lose to KC.
He can't get over the hump. He's a good coach, but he just can't get over the hump. And there's nothing wrong with that. But like, if you're trying to maximize your players, your timing, the prime of everybody, because this is everyone's prime in New York right now.
Yeah.
You got to go for it. Now, on the other side of it, it's like, who are you going to hire? Mike Malone is a carbon copy of Tibbs, so why would you go do that?
But he's won.
Yeah, he has won.
He has had the best player in the world.
He has.
But he's won.
That's true. Yeah. But I don't know if they want to do that. You look at Rick Brunson. I don't know if you're going to hire from within. I don't think people don't want that.
I mean, there's reports that Knicks players are actually frustrated with.
Well, yeah,
Rick
you know what
Brunson
I heard? Okay,
there.
you know what I heard today? You know what I heard today? He met Tibbs way back in the days and was friends with Tibbs.
Yeah.
And then Leon Rose is also Jalen Brunson's godfather. So I was like, oh, snap. That's what. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Brunson went there. I think Tibbs should have gotten fired or deserved to get fired. He absolutely didn't deserve to get fired.
No.
I think 90% of coaches, or let's go 75, don't deserve to get fired in the NBA. But I do think the Knicks needed to change something. It was clear throughout the entire postseason, even if the Knicks made the finals, they would have lost to the Thunder, but the Pacers were just a better basketball team top to bottom. The Knicks totally deserved to beat Detroit, and they totally deserved to beat Boston, but you just felt like there was something missing. And so for the Knicks, coming into the offseason, in order to stay competitive, I thought they either had to make a move or get a new voice.
Yeah.
Because Tibbs has been there for 5 years, and the Knicks are reaching this point where they are legitimate contenders, and so if they could bring in a new voice and keep the team the same, I think that's gonna really help them.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind the firing. I am gonna mind if they make a big trade now, because then you're starting everything completely over. And the Knicks have a winning culture. The Knicks have a winning culture for the first time since we were born. That is crazy. So Look, I was saying Giannis to the Nets, but we're seeing a lot of Giannis to the Knicks.
I literally just saw a whole report that says that the Knicks tried to trade for KD.
I do.
Tell the camera. Yeah. Tell him.
Guys, Giannis is not going to the Nets.
Thank you.
I'll admit it. You can press the button or Okay. Yeah. I don't think he's going to the Knicks either. That's our next segment about an NBA trade. But the Knicks needed a new voice, especially if they're going to run it back with that same team, because they have the roster to win a championship. Who's it going to be? I don't know, but we'll see. And they have a new voice, and so just shake them up and stuff. I didn't have a big issue with them partying either, because the one thing that questioned me is they fired Tibbs 12 hours later, 20 hours later.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Knicks know?
I feel like you had to have known.
Yeah, and especially after what Brunson said.
I mean, that came around lunchtime on Tuesday.
And those guys were probably
There's
just waking up.
There's no way you wake up on Tuesday and tell your players that, we're going to fire Tibbs.
I don't think they knew.
At least somebody knew.
At least
no,
I
think somebody. At least somebody.
One of the players?
Yeah.
The other thing I don't
think so, because we're talking about Leon Rose.
We are talking
James
about
Dolan. They don't tell the media
That
shit.
is true.
They don't tell the media anything. They just say we're doing this, and that's it. They don't. You saw the statement they said. They didn't. He didn't get in front of a camera.
Right.
They didn't say nothing to no reporters. So I think they were probably like, we're gonna fire him, and no one's gonna
It's gonna be interesting the next time that any of these players get around media, because obviously they're gonna 100% ask if they knew.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to hear what they say.
Yeah. Two things, and then we can move on. One, I think Brunson not had something to do with it, but Brunson absolutely knew, especially after
I feel
what
like
he said
knew.
in the press conference.
That's what I'm saying. I think he knew. At least Brunson knew.
And it doesn't mean that Brunson wanted Tibbs fired. I think it means Brunson would have been is okay with a new voice, because if Brunson was upset that they fired Tibbs,
I mean, what is Brunson gonna do? Tell him, I'm gone if you fire Tibbs? He can't.
Exactly.
They just.
And two, the timing of it. I mean, the Rangers fired their coach 2 days after the season ended too.
Yeah.
This is just what James Dolan does. They are drastic, but yeah, no, I think these guys knew. The players knew.
Absolutely, so. I think they knew. 100% knew.
Right.
I think they did. So, I mean, I don't know if they're down for that. It's whatever.
Yeah.
You can't fault the players for agreeing with that and them doing it. So.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Off-season trade?
Yeah.
That we want to see?
What is one off-season move you guys want to see? We see the Giannis rumors floating, the KD rumors floating. It could be a big move, a smaller move. It could even be a coaching move if you want. But what's something you guys want? It could be something in the draft too, like a dream pick.
Yeah.
Don't say Cooper Flag to the Mavericks. That's not allowed. Anything else is when it comes to the draft.
I feel like I'm going to give a little low-key one right now. Yeah. There's so many trades I want to see happen in this offseason. I'm going to give a low-key one that I think a lot of people aren't thinking about. And I think it possibly could happen. Don't think it will happen, but I want to see it happen very bad. I want to see LaMelo Ball get traded from Charlotte.
I'm here. I mean, I'm not a reliable source, but he's getting traded.
You think so?
I think he's getting traded.
I want to see that happen so bad. And it's because I want to see him somewhere else in a winning culture.
Yeah, he needs to go to, man.
I just get him out of Charlotte, please.
Yeah.
Where would be the best place?
And I know he's loyal, and I'm not saying it's on him or anything. He's been loyal to Charlotte and he wants to be in Charlotte, but I don't want to see that anymore.
You know what would be so cool for him? And I'm not going to take your thunder too much.
Mm-hmm.
Orlando
would be nice.
I've seen that.
Orlando wouldn't do it.
They would.
I don't think.
Yeah.
But it would be nice.
Yeah.
I think the asking price would be a little too much, especially because we're talking about Charlotte here.
Yeah.
And they're like, if we're going to give up LaMelo Ball, we're going to get at least somebody back.
Houston?
That would be cool.
Houston would be cool. I think that dilemma's a little different because I don't know if Houston wants to blow that up yet.
Yeah. I think they're okay blowing it up for Giannis, but not for LaMelo.
It's true.
Yeah,
and they unfortunately ran into an experienced Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler.
Who they trade him to, it's going to cost too much for whatever the team has.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but you just got to find that team that's willing to make that risk, though. I think both the teams that we named aren't willing to make those risks. I think Orlando is a little bit more than Houston for sure, 100%, but I don't know.
Clippers?
That's the one that I've been hearing. I hate the Clippers because I am a Lakers fan. It's just but I would like to see that though.
I'd like to see that.
And I'm a LaMelo Ball fan. I've been a LaMelo Ball fan since he was in high school. But
dude, LaMelo and Harden, Kawhi ain't gonna want any of that. That's the one thing. But
I think the Clippers would do that though.
Yeah,
because Kawhi and Harden,
and LaMelo in the same locker room.
Kawhi and Harden, it's not working.
Yeah,
it's just not let's be honest. Kawhi and Harden is not working.
Kawhi was hurt. Harden made an All NBA team too.
Yeah,
if they get LaMelo,
think
they
about
have
that.
A shot.
LaMelo with Zubac. LaMelo with Zubac, dude. Zubac would be eating.
Yeah.
Eating.
No,
so
fully.
That's one that I would. Yeah. I don't know. I just want to see him on a winning basketball team. So
feel that. That's a good one.
That's it's like that picture that you see the Bugatti in like the rundown trailer home. That's LaMelo Ball and Charlotte.
I'm going to go big, and I'm going to say I want to see KD go to either Minnesota or Denver. When it comes to Minnesota, I don't know how they get him, especially because they traded a bunch of picks for Gobert. They got a few back in the Cat trade.
Yeah.
It's very clear that Ant needs a number 2, but I don't even know if Ant would be the number 2 because KD's so good, but so is Ant. Makes them an immediate contender. Are they the Thunder? No, but they could definitely play with the Thunder if you have 2 top 10 players in the league.
Yeah.
And that same thing goes for the Nuggets. It's the same rationale here. You have a player who is so elite, and Ant might not be in his prime, but Jokic is, and you pair him with one of the best scorers of all time, then you have a chance to compete with the Thunder because the Thunder aren't going anywhere. The Lakers are going to be the number 2 team in the West next year if I had to pick right now. The Warriors still have Steph and Jimmy. The Nuggets and Timberwolves, they need a star. So that would be something. And KD's got to get out of Phoenix. Toussaint and I were in Phoenix for a week, and we hated it. No, we enjoyed it, but KD's got to get out. So I'm gonna go big, and I like that. And I'm gonna give you one more just because I want to say it.
Yeah.
Ace to Philly, Ace Bailey to Philly. That would be
Bailey
perfect.
to Philly.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna take a swing here. I want to see Zion somewhere else.
Ooh.
I really want him to get healthy, and New Orleans is not. Joe Dumars came out and said that they wanted to keep him. They got it. They got
unless they brought in LaMelo, because LaMelo, Ingram, and Zion. Would be
oh
sick.
my gosh,
that would be
LaMelo and
great.
Zion.
Yeah, but LaMelo and Zion in New Orleans.
That's like no, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Guys, we have photos of
Absolutely
Blake
not.
in New Orleans. Imagine LaMelo and Zion.
No, nah. Then y'all don't want to see the photos of me. Do not show them the footage of me in New Orleans. Absolutely not.
I don't know where Zion would go because I don't even know who would offer for him because of his injuries, but because they're going to also ask for a lot for Zion.
Boston, if they want to shake it up.
No.
Yeah, I can't see it. I'm just trying to throw.
I'm trying to think, like, what's his
Toronto?
skill set best for? Toronto? I mean, Toronto.
Zion?
Yeah.
It's Detroit, maybe.
I saw that, but you don't want to blow up. You don't want. You're gonna ask. For
I
way
don't
too
want
much.
Detroit.
I also feel like they're way too gritty.
I love the trade
guys are way
talks
too
surrounding Detroit in terms of like the star players, but I
Milwaukee.
don't want to blow that up.
I can't.
Milwaukee?
Yeah, but Milwaukee has nothing to deal.
I
To
know.
get rid of Giannis, yeah.
Oh, if they get rid of Giannis, absolutely.
I don't want to see Zion and Giannis. That doesn't.
I
go
also
well.
think Zion can't be a number
no.
1 on a contender. Like
No.
Yeah, he's ridiculous at basketball, but he can't stay healthy, and he can't be a number 1 on a contender, and that's
But it's
why.
just like, where could he go that like is a winning or is like Grizzlies?
Yeah, but they have Jaren Jackson already. Like, so that's a tough one.
Yeah,
because
I mean, I could see Memphis, Phoenix without KD.
LA,
Him?
the Lakers, they need a big.
Clippers?
I don't know if I like the Lakers.
I don't
No,
like the
not
Lakers with
Lakers.
them. I got one
Not
more.
with Bron there.
Golden State with Steph and Jimmy. They need a big. And then they get.
I mean, that's not bad. Golden
actually
State
like
is actually
that.
not bad.
I think
like
Golden
Golden
State's
State.
going to
They
go
would get him
for
right. They would get him
Golden
healthy.
State will get him right, and
I
was
like
thinking
that.
Golden State might go for Sabonis too, but Golden State with Zion, Jesus, yeah, they could get him right too.
I actually like that.
Yeah,
they
I
could get
do
him right
like
in
that.
Golden State.
and if the New Orleans wants
Get
to ship
Giannis
him,
or get Zion. Go sign Brook Lopez or something.
Yeah,
go get
Golden
him.
State would be nasty.
and if you
That would
want,
be a good team.
Golden State would be nasty.
right, and if you want Zion, like if the Pelicans go, we're not trading Zion in the West, we're trading him to the East. Miami.
The Knicks.
Nah, that would be like 2019. Guys, it's literally 2019 again with the rumors of Zion to the Knicks, KD to the Knicks.
I know.
Kyrie ain't coming to the Knicks. Kyrie ain't touching a fucking foot in New York ever again.
Nah, he's gonna get a hate crime on him if he goes to New
Dude,
York.
yeah, Zion to Miami would be cool too with Hero. They need someone else if they are going to contend. We're just throwing them all out there, I feel.
What about Kristaps?
I think he's out of Boston.
Well, I know he's out, but like,
I don't
where?
want to talk about Kristaps right now, man.
He's so tired of
I'm so tired of Kristaps Porzingis, dog.
Kristaps to the Pistons.
Bro, he don't play. He barely play half a season, dog. Yeah. I'm so tired of talking about that dude.
I think
Who cares where Kristaps gonna be? He ain't gonna be effective.
If you wanted a real answer, Charlotte.
He ain't gonna make no damn impact. So
if you wanted a real answer, it's Charlotte. Like Charlotte will give him a Gordon Hayward.
I mean, he had his best years in Washington.
Damn, man.
He stayed healthy in Washington.
What Twitter's saying, Kristaps white Magic Johnson right now.
Yeah, dude. It's absolutely.
They say brother's got AIDS.
He's got AIDS.
Yo.
So yeah, I don't want to talk about Kristaps.
Hey,
Who cares?
So yeah, I guess that's how we'll wrap up our NBA segment. We were. It's a good thing we postponed the podcast by doing our regular bullshit because breaking NFL news: Aaron Rodgers going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mm-hmm. We don't know how that's not really that breaking. I think everybody knew it was going to happen, but Rodgers
was one of those.
Officially informs the Steelers that he will be signing with them. Monetary, we don't know. Initial thoughts? Well, I'm going to start us off. See you week one.
He's gonna torch y'all, dog.
Revenge week.
He's gonna torch y'all, dog.
Aaron Rodgers is coming into MetLife Stadium with the Steelers to play Justin Fields.
He gonna torch y'all,
play Justin Fields in the New York Jets.
MVP Aaron Rodgers coming back.
Dog. He gonna torch
like John Wick, he finna come back.
Aaron Rodgers, bro. I will be in that building with my new quarterback, Justin Fields.
So he's gonna be in that.
Aaron Rodgers, you were the reason I was upset last season. Actually, you weren't the main reason, but you were definitely a reason.
Man, it wasn't all his fault.
It wasn't all his fault.
There was a lot of problems in the Jets organization.
Yeah, it's not fair to blame Aaron Rodgers. He did not help, though. There were some games where he looked like he was 41. If we want to talk about the fit in Pittsburgh, I mean, it makes sense, but the Steelers just don't have that great of a roster. Offensively. Outside of DK Metcalf,
who's their starting running back now?
There right now, it's Jalen Warren, Caleb Johnson.
They drafted. Who did they draft? Johnson.
They drafted Johnson.
Okay,
it's
so
Jalen Warren, Caleb Johnson,
and Johnson.
Yeah, because they're only good.
And then
Kenneth
Gainwell is their
third.
third.
Only good offensive
I
pieces.
love Gainwell.
DK.
I love Gainwell.
Love Gainwell.
And Darnell Washington tore his was it ACL or Achilles or something?
Yeah, he tore something, but they still have Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah, Freiermuth. Yeah, I mean receiving core. Yeah.
It's trash.
It's not like scary. Like it's not scary.
6 and 12 games incoming. Every single game's going to be 7-6.
Yeah,
I know. That's gonna be a question. Can Mike Tomlin actually pull off a winning season with this roster?
This might be his
Let me
first.
look at their schedule right now because like the Steelers' defense is still really good. You still have one of the best edge rush.
You know they gotta play Ravens twice.
They gotta play the Ravens twice.
Cleveland.
They gotta play the Bengals twice.
I play the Bengals twice.
Cleveland's still a fight.
Cleveland, yeah, they're a fight for sure. I mean, they lost to Cleveland last year in a snow game. They play.
Hector? Oh no, I don't think it was Hector.
No, they play Buffalo. They're at the Lions right before Christmas. They get the
spanking.
Yeah, they get the Packers.
Spanking.
They come to Chicago.
Spanking.
They get the Bills.
Spanking. That's spanking.
Yeah,
spanking for sure.
Exactly. Like I think the Steelers, they'll probably beat.
No, wait. Read their schedule out aloud again.
All right, week 1 at New York.
Okay.
You guys can predict this, right?
They might
cool.
win that.
Seattle at home.
That's a point.
Seattle's gonna get them.
Cool.
Yes.
At New England. New England's going to be a lot.
That's going to be an interesting one.
New England's going to get them.
Yeah.
New England might.
Minnesota at home. They might win that one.
No.
That's in London. Actually. That's in London.
Minnesota's winning.
That's in London. Cleveland at home.
JJ this OTAs?
Yeah.
He's
Cleveland at home. They win that one, we'll say.
I'll say they beat Cleveland.
Yeah, at home they're beating Cleveland.
Cincy on the road. They lose that. No. That's a Thursday night football game.
Yeah, they're losing with primetime Joe.
Especially after what Cincy did last season. No.
Right. Sunday night football at home against Green Bay. L.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's an L. No, it's an L.
Yeah.
L.
Spanking.
Close,
Spanking. Jordan Love putting that spanking on
that you got a noon game, or I guess a 1 o'clock game at home against Indianapolis. I think they beat the Colts at home.
Yeah, spanking.
Fuck you,
Lunga spanking.
At LA, it doesn't matter which team. I'm not even telling you which team. Doesn't matter.
Well, they can beat the Chargers.
They can beat the Chargers.
Well, it is a Chargers on Sunday Night Football. They're not beating the Chargers. I'll have this conversation. I can't believe we're doing a Steelers-Chargers conversation.
No, because there's always those games where it's like, in the NFL, there's always those games where it's like, there's no way this team wins, and they win.
Fine.
And then Justin Herbert throws 300 yards.
So let's say
that's a toss.
There's a game or two a week where there's always, this team is absolutely not beating this team, and they beat that team.
With Sunday Night Football, that's a toss.
So let's say the Steelers win that game, and they now sit at 1 game under 500. Okay. 8 games left. Tell me the record. Cincy at home.
No, they're not beating Cincy
0-1.
at all.
Bears on the road.
I could see
They're
it happen.
losing to that.
I could see it happen.
I'll give him
see the
1-1.
Bears.
I'll
I
give him
think-
1-1 just to show you my point.
Bears.
Bills at home,
Spanking.
1-2. Ravens on the road,
No.
Spanking.
1-3. Dolphins at home.
Yes.
They might win that.
They'll
2-3.
beat Dolphins.
Yeah.
Lions on the road.
Spanking.
2-4. Browns on the road. That's a toss.
Nah.
That's a toss up. So even
I'll
if
give Browns
toss.
1. I'm gonna give Browns 1. No, I'll give Browns
give the
1.
Browns 1, 2-5. Ravens at home. If the Ravens have
Spanking.
something to
No.
play for, the Ravens are winning that game.
No.
Spanking.
Pittsburgh,
Even if they do, they're still under 500.
they're still under
So-
500. And so like, what are the Steelers?
You know what I thought?
Who knows, bro?
So when this report came out that he was signing with them and that they weren't going to select Shedeur because he told them don't select Shedeur. So
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
what I thought was, okay, they don't have enough faith in Shedeur, so they're going to tank for a year with Aaron Rodgers and then come into the next year with a terrible record and a chance at a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Because next year is going to be a really good
But
class.
does Aaron Rodgers make them a worse football team than they were last year? I don't think so. Like,
Yes, I think he does.
he still could throw the
No,
ball.
wait,
The
it's
Steelers
not-
have a good offensive line.
It's not whether Aaron Rodgers makes them worse. It's are they a worse team?
Oh.
They traded away Pickens. They only have DK on with the receiving core. Their running backs aren't that good,
Yeah.
and the only thing they have is defense, which they spend all their money on. What you got to put points on the board. You got to
Yeah,
put points on the board.
Especially in the AFC North when you have two top.
Especially, it's not just aggression. Like the Ravens are aggression, but their offense is elite.
Yeah.
So they can put points on the board.
And by the way, the Ravens have a defense.
Exactly.
And the Bengals, their defense couldn't stop them.
Bengals, yeah,
But like, they got
Bengals
better.
couldn't stop a parked car, but their offense is elite. So that's Joe Burrow might have one of those Hall of Fame legacy games where he goes for 400 yards and 4 tutties, and if you can't stop him, you can't put points on the board. You're losing the game.
I will say Aaron Rodgers was good. Like good in the second half of the season. He only threw 1 interception.
True.
He had some good games when they beat Jacksonville. I don't count the last game against Miami where he threw his 500 touchdown because nobody cares about that. But he wasn't the problem for the Jets. But that doesn't mean he wasn't not good at points. Like they scored 21 first quarter points against Seattle and then got shut out the rest of the game. I'm not gonna make this a Jets rant. He's not the guy he used to be. Everybody knows that. But he's still like good. Like I still think he's a top 20 quarterback in this league.
Yeah.
And so if he stays healthy, I'm not saying Pittsburgh could make the playoffs. 8 wins, 7 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. And then like, there's no more Pat McAfee, none of that bullshit because Mike Tomlin's gonna go, nah, you're not doing that. The Jets couldn't do that because the Jets sold their soul for the guy.
Yeah.
I don't
Mike
know.
Tomlin isn't doing that.
I don't know. I mean, he put up with a lot of shit with the receivers over the years. You're talking about Aaron Rodgers now. I mean, what's his name? CTE. Antonio Brown was Antonio Brown.
Yeah, but Antonio Brown,
CTE.
he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad until he left Pittsburgh.
called
That's how you know him. CTE.
He wasn't bad until he left Pittsburgh, but they clearly knew something. was up.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, like this is Aaron Rodgers, and
Yeah.
they waited on hand and foot for him to sign. So
Oh, absolutely.
I think he'll do Pat McAfee when he wants to. Exactly.
Not
when he
in the
wants.
facility, though. No way in the facility. The Jets let him. They literally gave him a room. I don't
maybe.
think that happens.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, it's like Aaron Rodgers.
That's what I'm saying.
It is, but it's Mike Tomlin.
It is, yeah.
But
I don't know.
Mike Tomlin has a lot of shit go.
Oh,
Remember
absolutely.
George Pickens last year?
Yeah.
Over there hooting and hollering up and down the sideline.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they got rid of him in a flash.
Yeah. No, I mean, we'll see. I just don't think they're going to be that good of a football team.
No, they're not.
They're not going to be a bad football team. They'll be like a mediocre one, like
Decent.
they always are.
They'll have those weeks where they,
They look
steal one.
elite, and then weeks
Yeah.
where they can't put points on the board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I guarantee you right now, if they beat the Jets and beat the Seahawks, 2 teams that aren't that good. I mean, the Seahawks do have an elite quarterback in Sam Darnold. Yeah, you heard me. No,
I think the Seahawks are going to win that game.
fine.
Seahawks
but,
are gonna win.
But so after week 1, say Rodgers throws 3 touchdowns in a revenge game against the Jets defense, who is good. People might overbuy it and go like, maybe the Steelers could do something.
Yeah.
But they can't, especially once they get to the playoffs. I don't think anybody wants to play Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. But then again, you're facing Pat Mahomes, you're facing Josh Allen, you're facing Lamar Jackson, you're facing Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen A. always says Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. All 4 of those guys are infinite amount of times.
Well,
bad.
he's the third best quarterback in that division now.
Yeah,
You got to think about it. He's the third best quarterback in that division, and so that's not going to win you anything.
possibly 4th midseason when.
Maybe if Shedeur comes alive and they've we'll put Shedeur in, possibly. But like it's one of those
Absolutely.
things where like as a third, possibly 4th worst quarterback in the division, it's like you're not going anywhere. And so
Yeah.
everyone knows that. But like I said, I think it's a tanking scheme for them to just say, hey, we're going to go get somebody next year because next year's supposed to be a really good quarterback draft.
Yeah, or Will Howard next year too. I could totally see them giving the keys to Will Howard week 1 next year. I don't think he is going to be the long-term answer, but he's going to learn from Aaron Rodgers for a year. Because the last thing we could say about this, Aaron Rodgers is not a bad mentor. Like he's a weird guy, and but in terms of football, if young quarterbacks got to learn from him, great.
Is he a mentor to guys, or is he?
He was a mentor for Zach Wilson.
Or is he just a good teammate?
Well, he's absolutely a good teammate because to everywhere they go, people say he's a great teammate.
But like the separation between good mentor and good teammate is somebody who mentally and intentionally takes it upon.
And that's something that we don't know. But what I can say, Jordan Love's the top 15 quarterback of the league, sat behind Rodgers. Zach Wilson. All right, whatever. But like,
I mean, Rodgers is so good, you could just watch him and learn from him.
Exactly.
Slayer.
Yeah, last Jets reference. I swear, Hard Knocks. Rodgers' first year before he tore his Achilles. They're like the first segment. We're just like the staff in shock about the way he throws the football because he's talented in ways that
he's the best thrower of the football in my opinion.
Yeah, he might be the best thrower of the football in NFL history.
Yeah,
and so
I mean, he has the best ball placement I've ever seen.
Yeah, ridiculous.
It's elite.
He's just that guy. Yeah. He's still a bad man, and so it'll be interesting.
Facts.
Everyone's favorite segment, Tweaker of the Week.
I'm
not starting this one because I have no idea. I got a couple options though, maybe.
Tweaker of the Week.
No, I know I'll go with.
Go.
I'm gonna go with Gilbert Arenas because Gilbert Arenas. I'm not repeating it, but he said cat. He said cat is built like a B word.
Yeah.
I said, wait.
That was insane.
He said big feet.
Pump the brakes.
He said skinny legs, big hips.
Pump the brakes. and disclaimer, it's not okay to use that word. But what I am saying though is that was crazy work by Gilbert Arenas. I'm not gonna lie. I know Gilbert is a wild dude, but that was crazy. That was crazy work. I just feel like Cat's gotta say something about that. There's no way I'm letting. I don't care if you a Hall of Famer. I don't care if you're an NBA legend. I don't care who you are. Mm-hmm. You say that about me? Nah, dog. I gotta say something. So I feel like Cat's gotta get him back. So I'm just gonna throw that one out there because that was crazy. I don't think I've ever seen. I've never seen disrespect like that before. That was crazy work.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Valid.
Built like one. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm just go Tweaker of the Week, Gilbert Arenas. For sure.
I still don't know mine, honestly. I'm going to go with... Do you know yours?
Yeah, I'll go.
All right, cool. Give me another.
My Tweaker of the Week is to all of the athletes who retire a week before a week into OTAs or a week before the season starts. Bro,
are you mad at Frank?
Yeah, well, okay, listen, I'm not mad at Frank. Listen, you gave us what you gave us in terms of the years, and I'm not mad. Mm-hmm. You retire. I can't be mad at that. Mm-hmm. But if you're gonna retire, do it in the off season before we start coming into the camps trying to get ready. Because when you go to the camps, it's like, okay, the roster's supposed to be set, everything's supposed to be good, and then you retire. It's like, well, now I gotta find another guard. Mm-hmm. Luckily, we drafted 2 this year, but at the same time, what if we hadn't drafted a guard? What if we were stuck? Now we have a weakness in our offensive line. So, like, to me, it's like you guys, if you're gonna come to terms with that, come to terms with it before. You know, you have a whole off season to determine. You know what OTAs are. You know what the practices are. You know what the season is. You know what it takes to get through the season. You should know whether you want to play or not before OTAs start, before it is time, before teams can stop, acquiring players.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I agree with it. I think, well, it's hard to say there should be a time frame or a rule of when they can retire because the players, if they're going to retire, they're going to leave. My Tweaker of the Week, it's the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're playing the Mets right now. I'm a Mets fan. The Mets are up 4-0. The Mets already clinched the season series against the Dodgers, but that's not even why I'm saying they're tweaking. If I had to pick a World Series right now, I'd probably say Dodgers-Tigers, and I'd probably say the Dodgers would win. They just don't, right now, they don't play baseball like it matters, and they're still good, dude. And Blake Snell, hurt. Tyler Glasnow, hurt. Other guys, hurt. Mookie Betts is dealing with an injury. He's playing right now. They just don't play like it's real, and it's really frustrating because in the NL, you got the Mets, Phillies, Cubs, all contenders. Doesn't matter once the Dodgers find their groove. And so that's frustrating. Yeah, and they're just way too good, but they don't play like it matters. So I have a problem with that.
I got one more I want to add. Who was the coach? Was it Vanderbilt's coach, baseball coach? Who was it?
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest.
That was insane.
Wake Forest. What's his name? What's his name? I don't watch baseball like that. I don't watch college baseball like that.
Dude, these baseball coaches have been crazy. Did you see the Florida coach?
No, what did he do?
The Florida coach, like, they moved it from a noon start to a 1 o'clock start, and he was yelling at one of the stadium officials and got caught on camera.
That's
like he was just so pissed about it for no reason.
No, the Wake Forest coach calling the Tennessee player. I'm not saying the word.
Don't say it.
F word.
Jason Collins.
Not
Tom Walter.
Not UCK though.
Yeah. Jason Collins.
Yeah. Jason Collins. Tweaker. That's tweaked, insane. Buddy.
Yeah.
You tweaked. He could get fired for that, saying that.
He did not. He apologized.
Okay.
Not okay, though.
He apologized. But yeah, Tennessee calls the Tennessee player that. Tennessee player walks up, hits a bomb. Absolute bomb. Home run. I would have been so sick.
Yeah.
I would have been crashing out on that sideline. I'm not in that dugout. I would have been crashing out, dog. So I got to throw that one out there.
Yeah, the second I heard that, if I was in the Tennessee dugout,
people getting too loose.
The second I heard that,
too loose.
The second I heard that, if I was in the Tennessee dugout, I would rush out.
Oh,
yeah, I would rush out.
I would have did something. If I was the player hitting the home run, boy, I would have hit him with a Marshawn Lynch, dude.
I would have had
I would have hit him with a Sam Cassell.
No, I would have stuck these.
I would have done either the Jason Kelsey thing, smash the phone, who's the blank now, or do a Bartolo Colon length home run trot.
Hey, I would have done the Sam Cassell, and then I would have went John Moran.
The Cassell. No, or the what was it? What was his name?
Sidearm to throw too.
Yeah,
what was this? What was the Steelers safety? Matthew Gay? Was it Matthew Gay? Where you see his celebration? He did like 3 celebrations, 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
He was crawling on him. He was crawling. He kicked on the door, did that? Yeah. He started crawling to the sideline like that.
Dude.
I would have been.
They said, all
types of celebrations.
They said, oh my goodness, he's doing his 3rd celebration.
And he said
yeah, I know. He crawled to the coach on the ground. He said,
that was the greatest celebration of all time, bro.
That was insane.
So, but yeah, that is all we have. I think episode 22.
Indeed.
Keep running it up. Keep subscribing, liking, comment. I think last week we said comment finals winner, didn't we?
Yeah.
Comment finals MVP.
Nah,
right?
That's gonna be shit.
No. A trade you want to see happen.
Oh yeah. Good one.
An off-season NBA trade you want to see happen. Comment that.
Yeah.
As always, run up socials. Keep doing that, and stay fly. Let's get out of here.